What's going on, everybody? Today we got our final big board. We got the draft tomorrow. Got a big, exciting draft. Got some of the most talented quarterbacks we've seen in a while. I mean, definitely compared to last year with, you know, the second quarterback would get picked in the fourth round.
Something like that. Yeah, I think Willis went in the. I think he went on late day 2, actually. Something like.
Uh, all right, so we're gonna start off. It's Dylan's big board, obviously. Big draft guy, draft analyst. Guy's got a future in that. But if you want to start off,
Yeah, sure. At number 1, I'm gonna keep it the way I've had it since really early last into the last draft. Bryce Young. He's been my number 1 player since then, and I'm just gonna stick with it. I'm not gonna go against what I've said. He's an unbelievable talent, and his ability to take a team that really wasn't that great, especially for an Alabama team, and playing in the SEC and to lead them to the records and the seeds that they've been in the past couple of years is pretty incredible what he does. And a lot of his highlights you see are him just like escaping the pocket and being able to make plays. And a lot of that is because his offensive line wasn't great, and his number 1 receiver was Ja'Cory Brooks, who is a
right?
projected undrafted free agent. So I like Young because um, I like Young because he is unbelievable at creating plays under pressure, and he's proven that he can do it with a bad team. And if with a team that's good enough to be picking number 1 over, bad enough to be picking number 1 overall, or at least to be close enough to trade
Right.
up to number 1 overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need that. You need a guy that is proven to be able to carry a team that is not so great, and Young is definitely that.
Does Alabama have any skill guys that might get picked in the other
No,
than Jahmyr Gibbs?
not in this draft. Besides Gibbs.
Um, yeah, I mean Bryce Young. I agree with that. You happen to have like a player comp or anything like that?
For Young, it's kind of difficult because of the size, because that's really like the main thing that people talk about when they talk about Young.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to, I mean, you could just throw out Russell Wilson just
Right, just
because
because of
of,
the size.
yeah, the size and then his ability to make plays under pressure kind of reminds me of him too. Wilson was very, very good at that in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that would be a pretty good one.
Yeah, and I obviously a little bit foreshadowing there, but obviously we see Will Anderson there too.
Yeah,
Alabama 1-2.
yeah. Yeah, Alabama, yeah, 1 and 2. Will Anderson's an unbelievable player. I mean, we've heard about him since his freshman year. It feels like
Right.
he's been dominating college football, and he is very deserving of a top pick in this draft. And I mean, the production that he's put up in a conference like the SEC is pretty incredible. So, yeah,
You
Will Anderson's going to be my number 2 player in this
you
draft.
like him more than other edges like Ty. We'll get to him obviously, but
Yeah,
at 3, I'm pretty sure you had Bijan.
yeah, Bijan Robinson. It's hard to grade. It's hard to mock. It's easy to grade. Um, Robinson, you can see how much of a talent he is when watching him on tape. You could very much see how good he's going to be right away.
Mm-hmm.
Like this guy is proven. This guy is like if I had to bet on an offensive rookie of the year right now, I would bet on him,
Right.
even with the quarterbacks and how favored quarterbacks are in awards like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's how confident I am in Bijan Robinson being an unbelievable player, and I think whatever team gets him is going to significantly improve their offense in his rookie year, and that's something that you can't really say for a lot of guys in drafts. Period. Not even
Right.
just in this one. So yeah, he's going to elevate an offense and he's gonna get under. It's gonna look like he got underdrafted, and he's going to when he gets in the league. NFL teams are going to start to question whether they should be taking running backs high or not, as in they think they should be taking them higher in future years because of what Bijan does. And I've actually seen a few rumors that he might go top 10 now, and he's very much deserving of that. But if they let him slip past the top 15, we could see running backs going higher in the near future just purely because of him.
You think he'll be a top 5 running back right away?
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if we were considering him the best running back in the league by the end of his rookie year.
Wow.
And I mean, we saw it with Jonathan Taylor. Taylor did it after his second year, and Taylor wasn't nearly the prospect
Right.
Bijan was.
Is Bijan Robinson going to be a first-round fantasy draft pick?
Depends on the situation. I mean, I would think he absolutely would, but if he goes to a team where he's not going to get as much playing time right away,
Right.
then probably not. But I mean, there's no reason he shouldn't be.
Mhm.
All right, moving to number 4. Jalen Carter's a guy that's really hard to rank here because of the personal issues and then because of the stamina issues, which we've seen come up now in his pro day. And yeah, so he's a tough one to rank, but I'm gonna put him at number 4.
Just because of everything we've seen of him.
Yeah, I mean, like the talent on the field is ridiculous. Like you could just see how purely dominant he is on the field.
It's night and day to his pro day.
Yeah, 100%. And Carter, I mean, I'm trying to think like if he didn't have those pro day problems and if he didn't have those personal issues, I think he might be my number 1 prospect. He would certainly be my number 1 defensive prospect.
Is Bijan Robinson? Did you have a running back comp? I was looking at Saquon, but not as much. Not as much.
Yeah, he's bigger than Saquon, and he's better at just running guys over than Saquon.
So he's like a mix of Saquon and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a pretty insane combo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So at number 5, I have Christian Gonzalez.
Let me. I think you're overreacting on this. I really like Christian Gonzalez as a prospect, but I don't think he's like I don't see a world where he's rated above Tyree Wilson, in my opinion. I
have Tyree Wilson very. You're gonna be surprised at how low I have Wilson in this. I just think that when guys get, I mean, I think he could definitely succeed in it. I mean, we'll get to him when we get to him. We'll talk about it. But Gonzalez is just such a fluid athlete, and he's a guy that you could see just dominating the league right away, similar to the way Sauce did. And
So
I think
so I do actually see the comparisons of him and Tariq Woolen.
Yeah.
But I think that he's the type of player that like bursted on the scene more this season.
Yeah.
He hasn't really been a consensus top picks until
Yeah.
the recent months. I mean, I definitely see the potential. I think whatever team gets him is getting a future cornerback 1, but
Yeah.
just not sure if the value, like if you take a guy like him over some of these other quarterbacks that I see who haven't ranked yet.
Yeah, and well, this is pure talent for a big board. It's not
Right.
really as much with positional value.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying I would take him over a CJ Stroud or an Anthony Richardson, but I'm saying I think he will be the 5th, in my opinion, the 5th best player in this draft class talent-wise. It's just it's night and day with his closing speed compared to the other top corners in this draft. He's the only one that has that recovery, that ability to recover if he's beat. Him and Deonte Banks, really. But like when you're comparing him to Porter and Witherspoon, like both of those guys are not top end speed type of guys. Gonzalez is a top end speed type of guy. He's a top end athlete type of guy, and he's also got ridiculous pursuit speed, and he's a very secure tackler, which is a big reason that I have him above Witherspoon.
Yeah. I agree. I do agree he's the best cornerback in the draft. I'm just not sure he's the 5th most talented.
Yeah. Okay, at number 6, I have Jackson Smith-Njigba. I don't think this is that hot of a take. I think Njigba is consensusly ranked as he's going to be good right away. I think he's going to be really, really good right away. Now, the hamstring injury is a concern because hamstrings are usually ones that those injuries are usually ones that linger and that don't really go away. So that's really my concern with him. But I mean, we see what Cooper Cup has done in the last couple of years when
Right.
he's been out. I mean, and Najigba is going to play in a similar role as him. And when you can design your offense around a guy like that, I mean, Najigba is just so unbelievable after the catch. And when you're playing in the slot, if you can get open short, like he's going to be able to take those passes for an unbelievable amount of run after catch yards, and you're going to see it right away. You're going to see those numbers right away.
So my only problem with Njigba was the fact that he's not the fastest receiver, and now that he has those hamstring issues, so he might end up being in the 4.6s right now.
Yeah, well, he did run at his pro day, and I'm pretty sure he ran in the four. If I'm not, I think he ran in the 4.5s, maybe
Okay.
maybe the low 4.5s.
Okay.
So I don't think speed is that much of a concern. He's not the fastest receiver in the world, but he's not like so slow that it's gonna hold back his game. So I think that the speed is great, but when you have the route running that he has and you have the run after catch ability that he has, I don't think it matters too much. And he's shown it on the field, so
Right.
he's shown that he doesn't need speed. All right, moving on to number 7, I have
I like
Brian
this.
Branch. Yeah, Branch is an unbelievable player. Like, there's just no bad part to his game. You could play him I mean, in the slot corner role that he played, like I was looking at the numbers a few days ago, and like Branch like never plays safety. So I don't know why everyone. I guess it's just hard to list a guy as a slot corner, but he
Right.
takes pretty much all of his snaps at the slot corner position.
Which is a need for a lot of teams. I
Yeah.
think whatever, and you can't even compare him to what Kyle Harrison was like last year because they're just not very similar players. But
Yeah, Hamilton's more of a pure
Hit-
safety that can
yeah.
come down and tackle. Branch is an
is a ball winner.
unbelievable cover guy. Yeah.
He's a ball winner. And
Yeah.
I like this at 7.
Yeah. At number 8, I have Anthony Richardson, my QB2. Here I'm really banking on the potential, and you see it with the tools of Anthony Richardson. If he could get into the right system and the right scheme and get coached up, he's got to sit for a year, obviously, at least a year. And I really think that this is a guy that could end up becoming one of the better quarterbacks in our league.
Right. I just don't know if you could fully bank on potential to put him in that 2 slot. I think based off everything I'm hearing, I think he'll be the 4th quarterback off the board.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, and I definitely disagree with it. I think if I was a team like the Colts, like if the Texans were taking a quarterback, I think I'd lean.
I would not take Richardson. I would not take Richardson at 4.
But if I'm the Seahawks,
I would not take Richardson if I was the Colts because the Colts. If I'm the Seahawks, that's my favorite fit for Richardson.
Right. From the Seahawks.
If the Seahawks take Richardson, I could really see. Yeah, I mean, I could see Richardson being really, really good in his first few when he first starts, which would be in 2024.
Do you think that a team that really nobody has been looking at in play for quarterback, the Atlanta Falcons?
I think they definitely could, but I think someone would have to fall to them. I don't think they would be a team that's willing to, and I don't think they would be a team that's willing to grab a Richardson. I feel like they would want a guy that is certified gonna be good.
So you think the only way is if Stroud is there at 8?
Yeah, and I definitely think that's a possibility. But I think it's more likely that a team like the Falcons just trades down.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So moving on to 9, Devin Witherspoon's my number 9 prospect. Him and it might not seem like they're 4 spots apart, but him and Gonzalez are pretty neck and neck. I've had Gonzalez as my cornerback 1 this whole time, but I think I could definitely see the argument for Devin Witherspoon just because he's when you're looking at corners these days, most of them, it's you want your corner 1 to be like the saying he's got that dog in him.
Yeah.
And you want him to be overconfident, and Witherspoon is like that. You could see it in his personality, and you could see it in the way he plays.
Yeah, he's a pure he's a pure winner. He's a winner. That's
Yeah,
the word I'm looking for.
and
Not
he's
necessarily with his team, but him versus the receiver in his head, he's always one up.
yeah, and he's a smaller guy, but he doesn't see it that way.
Right.
He's
He
a great
he
tackler.
plays like a big guy.
Yeah. All right. At number 10, I have Darnell Wright. Yeah, my tackle one. I think that I think Wright is an unbelievable player, and I think that he's a very refined pass protector. And I think that he's going to make the most of an impact of any of the tackles in this class on day one. Because I mean, you look at his tape against some of the top guys in this class, and those are things that you can look at, and that can really tell you about how a tackle prospect is going to be in the NFL. You saw it with Rashawn Slater and his tape against Chase Young in college.
Right.
Slater dominated that game, and we saw it with Wright against Will Anderson.
Yep. Although Will Anderson and Chase Young are not the exact same
Oh
player,
no,
but
not at
yeah.
all. It's not just that exact. I'm sure there are more. Like I mean, it's a very common thing you see when you see these top matchups.
Yeah.
And then at 11, I finally have Tyree Wilson. With him, you're really banking on the potential, and you're banking on him and Miles Murphy, who I have just a couple spots down from here, are honestly very similar in my eyes, except that Wilson's just more athletic and he's more versatile. But yeah, I mean, they both just need those pass rush moves. They're not refined pass rushers. But I definitely think that that is something that is teachable.
100%, especially with that D'Amico Ryans right there.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, if Wilson went to the Texans, I've already said that's a fit that I would love.
Mhm.
All right, at 12, I have Paris Johnson. Johnson's definitely a safer bet than Wright. Johnson can also kick into guard if you want him to. He has experience there. So he's more versatile on the offensive line. But yeah, I mean, Johnson's a great player. Johnson's going to be good. I feel like he's one that we know what we're getting with him. I don't think he's going to be the best tackle in the NFL, but I think he could definitely be up there.
Mhm.
And I think he's got a high floor.
Yeah, I like that fit with Chicago.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, that's my also number one fit with him. Murphy, we just talked about him at 13. Um, not the best sack production, but
No.
we talked about it. That's something that can be refined. He's a great run defender. He's a big dude. And sometimes you hear reports that his head's just not in it. And he doesn't really have the right mentality about it. So those are things that can definitely be concerns. But he's just such a good athlete, and he's so. I think. I mean, he's more of a high ceiling, low floor type player.
Very, very.
Yeah,
I think he has a very low floor.
yeah, definitely. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he just completely busts, but I
Yeah.
don't think he will. I think if he can sure up those pass rush moves, he can definitely make an impact.
Yeah, he definitely has the athleticism.
Yeah. All right,
Finally.
CJ Stroud. Yeah, I don't. I just have a tough time putting Stroud over a bunch of these guys that I feel are very high. I like banking on potential, not like that much, but I think banking on potential is better than banking on a guy that's like surely going to be good. You don't think he can be great.
Mhm.
Stroud's going to be good. Stroud, he's unbelievably accurate. We just question if he can. I mean, he had. You look back at that Georgia game, and he played unbelievable under pressure. It was the first time we had ever seen that.
Right. Do you question his test taking abilities?
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that S2 test can be very, very telling for a quarterback.
Really?
And yeah, it's proven to like actually matter. And it's not like he failed, he's done. But
He fouled pretty bad.
yeah, I mean, that's pretty bad. And for a guy that the biggest concern with him is probably his decision making because of the his offense is so good. It's just a scheme, and you can just throw anyone in there.
Hmm.
Because that's really his biggest concern. That concerns me.
I think we could see the fall of CJ Stroud tomorrow.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I have Peter Skoronsky at 15. Skoronsky's going to be good. I mean, he can be good at tackle. He can be great at guard, in my opinion. But yeah, he's a great run blocker, and he's got shorter arms, but he's very athletic and he's very versatile. And I think that he could make a very good guard or tackle in a heavy run offense. Like I think the Falcons would be a great fit for him. That's probably my number one. I think the Falcons would be my number one fit for Peter Skoronsky.
What if the Texans got Bijan and Peter Skoronsky?
That'd be pretty good. I mean, yeah, if they had those two running backs with Pierce and Bijan, that'd be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That would be. I mean, Bijan's a 3-down back, so
Yeah.
you don't need a guy to take snaps away from him. But yeah,
It's definitely not a bad problem to have.
yeah. Yeah, so Joey Porter at 16. I've been a big Joey Porter fan since like a long time, like since last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Porter. I mean, I fell in love with the arm length. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's a big thing for corners, and
It
it's
is. So it's Rick Woolen.
yeah, and it's hard to win in press coverage against those guys, and his ability to just take guys down the sideline, and he has all the leverage in those reps.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
It
He's a great talent. It's just his speed is a question.
I question his tackling.
Yeah, his tackling could definitely be a little better. And then yeah, his recovery speed, if he gets beat, like he's not recovering. So
Yeah.
those are the questions with him, but yeah, he's a press corner at its finest.
Yes.
All right, Michael Mayer, just the complete package at tight end. I mean, you're getting everything. You know what you're getting with him. You're getting everything. You're getting blocking. You're getting pass catching. He can really play. He can play in the slot if you really want him to. He could play as a regular tight end. And yeah, I mean, Mayer's one of those guys that you know what you're getting. I don't think he's ever going to be considered a top tight end in the league, but he's definitely going to be good, and he has a very high floor.
Good hands too.
Yeah, great hands. All right, Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, big Jahmyr Gibbs fan. Definitely not an every down back, but as a guy that can just come in and be your pass catching running back, and I mean he can run the ball pretty damn well too. So yeah, he's gonna make an instant impact right away.
I could see Miami swooping into that late 20s area to try to get him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he just needs to get in an offense where he doesn't have to carry the load.
Yeah.
And yeah, Gibbs is gonna be. A lot of these running backs in this draft are gonna be good right when they see snaps.
Yeah.
Deonte Banks at 19.
I love Deonte Banks.
I really I love Deonte Banks. I think he could probably be a little higher than this, to be honest. And he's just such a good athlete. And when you combine being that good of an athlete with the coverage stats that he's posted in the last year, I mean,
in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like less yards allowed than coverage snaps played, which is like pretty crazy. That's something that not a lot of guys can say. So I mean, you're banking on the athleticism, but I mean, he's proven to be a lockdown corner. So it's not just like it's not all traits.
Right.
I have Broderick Jones at 20. He's a very power type guy. He hasn't got a lot of finesse to his game. He's a great run blocker. Yeah, I think he'd be great in the Titans scheme. So that'd be my favorite fit for him. I've seen him mocked at 11 a lot to the Titans.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a pretty good pick. All right, at 21, I have Nolan Smith.
I've seen Nolan Smith a lot higher.
I've seen him a lot higher. I've also seen him a lot lower. Yeah, Smith is a guy that's hard to predict because he's such a good run defender, and when that's such a big part of your game and you're that small, it's
Yeah.
hard to say because if he just completely loses that in the NFL, it's hard to say because if yeah, I mean you got to be a good run defender, and he has proven to be that in college. But will that translate to the NFL with the size? And I mean, he's gonna be a great pass rusher. He's got amazing bend. He's an amazing athlete. So he's gonna get to the quarterback pretty often. It's just can he defend the run at as high of a level as he did in college?
So we'll go through like 32, and then you could like rattle off names that you
Yeah,
really like.
yeah.
Canu
All right,
Benton.
Keanu Benton. This is one of my favorite players in the class. Benton just, I mean, when it comes to the defensive tackles in this class, there's no really complete package. Benton is the complete package. Benton is big. Benton can pass rush. Benton is an unbelievable run defender. And he's just so strong that it's really hard to not fall in love with him when you watch his tape.
Yeah.
At 23, I have Will McDonald. Another one of my guys that I really like. McDonald's got unbelievable bend, and he's got his the thing that I like about McDonald is that he was playing out of position all year. Iowa State was playing him with his hand in the dirt, and he still produced really well. He's better like as an outside pass rusher, like lined up against a tackle.
Hmm.
And when they did put him there, he was unbelievable on pretty much every snap. So, I mean, when you produce at that high of a level at the position that you're not even going to play in the NFL, or I would hope he's not going to play in the NFL,
Right.
that's a lot to bet. I mean, he's definitely going to be inexperienced at that spot,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, you're banking on very little snaps, but you're also banking on the fact that he produced really well when he was playing out of position. So
Right.
yeah, Zay Flowers at 24. I've kind of dropped him in the past few weeks. Flowers is a great player, and when you watch his highlight reel specifically, you'll fall in love with him.
Yeah.
But there are those concerns. Flowers is very good at playing bigger than his size,
Hmm.
and he can go up and high point the football.
Just don't know how that
So
translates.
yeah, we'll see because he seems like a slot receiver, but he plays outside receiver. All of his skill sets are really as an outside receiver. So will the size translate to the NFL is the question.
Right.
I have Dalton Kincaid at
I I
25.
I love Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, Kincaid's a great player because he's like another receiver, which a lot of teams value in a tight end nowadays. So yeah, having Kincaid out there it's really a mismatch.
Uh-huh.
All right, I'm gonna start going through them a little quicker now. All right, so BJ Ojolari is a guy I also really like. I loved his cousin, or it's cousin, right? Aziz.
I don't
Pretty
know.
sure they're cousins, not brothers.
I'm a pretty big fan of
Yeah,
Aziz, that's for sure.
I was a pretty big fan of Aziz coming out, and I'm also a big fan of BJ. Um, Unbelievable bend and unbelievable athlete.
What would you consider bend? How they
Bend,
bend?
like how he bends around
Oh,
the. You have to when you're pass rushing, you have to be able to get around the tackle at a quick enough pace, but also at a sharp enough cut so that you can get to the quarterback quickly.
and that like
That's what.
the sum of that would be bend.
Yeah.
Who has the best bend in the draft? Will Anderson or Tyree Wilson?
Um. I'd probably go Tyree Wilson.
You think Will Anderson's the best pure pass rusher?
Definitely, yeah. Oh yeah, the Ojolari's got great bend, and he's just such a great athlete, and he's going to be a good pass rusher right away. It's just his run defending is really
In
what you're
question.
questioning there. Yeah. All right, Osiris Torrance at 27. I mean, he's going to be a good guard almost immediately. Yeah, more of a high floor, low ceiling type guy. He's not a great athlete, but he's big.
Massive.
Yeah, huge guy. Um, Jordan Addison at 28. I'm very concerned about Addison and his size because he can't win balls in the air.
Hmm. He's
So I mean, he's great, and
he's a
my
pure
problem with
route runner.
him, yeah, he's a great route runner,
He's
but
Tyler Lockett.
his RAS score was really underwhelming for me, and he didn't run well at the combine. He's not as good of an athlete as I would have hoped for a smaller guy.
He's Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, I could see that comparison. Anton Harrison is the most refined pass protector um, of the guys that are probably going to go more in the on day two. He's one of the more refined pass protectors in this class, to be honest, and he's going to make an impact right away, in my opinion.
Hmm.
DJ
Love DJ
Turner at
Turner.
30. Yeah, I've talked about him on this channel before. Um, yeah, Turner's ability to mirror defenders is pretty incredible, and he's got great speed, which is something that corners people value nowadays a lot in corners.
Hmm.
Because when you have that recovery speed, if you get beat downfield, then you're able to recover with that speed. It's pretty great, and he's also not a guy that's gonna get beat downfield a lot because
Right.
he
Quick.
knows, yeah.
Speaking of quick,
Yeah, Hyatt's tough to predict. He's he's very fast, obviously. He runs a lot of verticals. That's the
yeah,
thing. He runs a lot of verticals, and they just throw it up to him, and he's open.
yeah,
So yeah, that's what makes him hard to predict. That's what makes Hendon Hooker hard to predict.
right.
And yeah, Hyatt. It depends on how a team uses him because if he's on a team like the Vikings and all of the concern is on Justin Jefferson, and that can get him a lot of one-on-ones, and he's gonna win down the field in one-on-ones.
Yeah,
He's very good at finding the hole in zones and just using his speed to get down the field.
yeah. I see a lot of John Ross coming out of college with him.
Yeah, Ross was definitely better after the catch than Hyatt is, but
That's why
yeah,
Hyatt's more of a day two pick.
yeah. All right. I know one of your guys, Kemp Smith, I have at 32. Great zone corner, and no, I've been a big fan of Cam Smith since early in the process. He's a guy that I really think should be going on day one. And we see it. I saw the report that said that it's a possibility that 6 cornerbacks go in the first
Wow.
round, which is, yeah, a lot. And
Panthers
I
just won in
think,
overtime.
really?
Yep,
Wow. It's 3-3 now?
3-2.
Oh, 3-2. All right. Oh, I was thinking of the Islanders.
Yeah,
Um, and then yeah, we'll get into this guy Emmanuel Forbes, who's one of the reasons that really you're questioning of that 6 cornerbacks that we just mentioned. It's really him and it's Clark Phillips, where
yeah.
it's and Julius Brents, where it's guys that are like
I'll
so
be honest.
small.
I'm a lot bigger fan of Julian Brents out of Kansas State than Clark Phillips.
Really,
Yep.
yeah. But those 3 guys are very small, which is something that NFL teams like to not have. They like to pass on the smaller corners.
Right.
So I think that 6 cornerback thing might be telling of what they think about those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Forbes is a great player. He's small, but he really does everything right.
So we speed it up a little bit. We're getting pretty.
Yeah, okay. Lucas Van Ness at 34, a little lower on him. Very inexperienced, very good athlete. I could see him being good if he's developed, but
Yeah.
he needs more experience and he needs more. He's a great run defender because of his size, but needs more pass rush moves.
Wow. Finally.
Levis finally at 35. Yeah, um, not a big fan of Will Levis. I think he can
Clearly.
be. I think he can be good. I mean, it's really a lot with his footwork and his. It's the fact that he has experience. He has experience at the college level, and he's 24, and I just don't know if there's that much to work with him. Like he's got the traits, but even at that point, by the time his rookie contract's up, he's 28, 29. If he gets, I mean, he's gonna get picked in the first round, so 29 after his fifth year option. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of Levis mostly because of that footwork and because of that decision making.
I don't like the age either.
Yeah, the age is definitely a concern too. Jonathan Mingo at 36, big body receiver, something that this draft lacks, and I think that NFL teams will value that. And Mingo's not an amazing route runner. He could definitely improve there. He's not quick, but he can get open and he can make catches using his size. So I think he's going to be pretty good in his rookie year. If I'm being honest, I think he'll be a good player in his rookie.
I don't know if you want to just go through like the rest and highlight some guys that you really like.
Yeah. Okay. Deion Henley's my linebacker 1. He's converted from receiver, and you could tell because he just knows what receivers are going to do so well. His instincts are great athlete. Isaiah Foskey's a very sure guy. You kind of know what you're getting out of him, and I think he's become a little underrated over this process. He's really dropped down a lot of boards. Quentin Johnston, I'm definitely lower on him because when your main thing is you're a big body and you can't track the ball in the air and you can't high point the football, that's definitely a concern. But if you could develop that skill, I mean, it's going to be a hard skill to develop, and it's a hard habit to his worst habit is just sticking his hands out when the ball is in the air and he's in a contested catch situation. That's a hard habit to just make go away. Clark Phillips is smaller, but he's feisty. He's gonna rip the ball away from you. He's gonna press you. He's gonna be all over you. He had 3 pick sixes in a game earlier this season.
Seriously?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Let's go down to 50. We'll go down to 50.
Yeah. Brazee at 41. Not a big fan of this defensive tackle class, but yeah, Brazee can be a good run defender. It's just a question of if he can develop that pass rush. Bryce Ford-Wheaton is a guy that I am much higher on than a lot of people. When you're a guy that runs a 4.38 and your best ability is a jump ball receiver, that's pretty crazy. He can do a lot of things really well, and I think he's a little skinnier, but he's tall, and he kind of reminds me of if T. Higgins was fast.
Or
that's pretty crazy.
I like an Allen Robinson comparison. I'm not sure.
Allen Robinson's much slower.
Yeah, without the speed.
But maybe like early, like prime Allen Robinson, a little.
Penn State Allen Robinson, same type of prospect.
Yeah, he's definitely faster though. Kalijah Cansey's going to be a great pass rusher, but with me, I need my defensive tackle. I need my defensive tackle to be able to plant their feet, stuff that run every time, DJ Reader style, and he's just not a guy. Yeah,
if you're a DT tackle can stuff the run.
Yeah, yeah. So not a big fan of Cansey because of that, but I definitely think he could be a good rotational pass rusher. They could rotate him in there on 3rd and longs. He's definitely going to be able to make plays. Darnell Washington. Yeah, I mean he's huge, so you're banking on the potential there. He's going to be a good blocker. He's going to make splash plays. Can he be consistent with it? Probably not. That's why he's going to be lower on most team sports. Cody Mauch is a versatile guy. He's big. He's athletic. He's going to be a meme of the NFL. That's for sure. He's going to be talked about a lot. And kind of similar to the way Quinn Miners was with his big stomach. I was a big fan of Quinn Miners too, the guard for the Broncos currently. Keon White, I'm definitely lower on than a lot of people. He's just a big guy. That's really it. Doesn't have much pass rush. Doesn't have much skill to him. He's big, and they could develop him. If a team can develop him, then I think he could become a good player, but he won't be good immediately. Kelee Ringo, a lot of potential, a lot of speed. There's a reason he was once considered a top 5 pick at some point in this draft process because he's a damn good athlete and he can make plays. So I think he'll be a little better than people are expecting in the NFL. All right. We'll stop at 50. So
Yeah.
Trenton Simpson at 48. Another guy that was once considered a for sure first round guy kind of slipped through. People just don't value linebacker these days. But yeah, Simpson's a good player. He's a great tackler. He's athletic. He's a very athletic because I've heard that some teams are considering him more of a slot corner, kind of the same way that Isaiah Simmons was viewed when he was coming
Uh-huh.
out. But Simmons hasn't been great in the NFL, so that's not a great guy to be compared to.
Not yet.
Yeah. Julius Brents. I actually like Brents a decent bit. I just think that he gets beat a lot, man. I've seen a lot. His lowlights are bad. Like I can see the potential with him, but sometimes it just looks like it's like what are you doing? Like he just
But
gets beat a lot. Like
you were saying that he's a small guy.
yeah, he is. He's a very small guy.
He's 6'4".
Oh, Brent. Wait, are you serious?
I'm so serious.
Hang on, wait.
I was confused.
All right, little bit of a brain fart there. He's a skinnier guy, is what I meant.
Yeah, he's skinnier.
He's 198, or that's
Yeah.
what it says when I just look it up on Google.
I want to look like
But
Tariq Woolen is.
yeah,
I
no,
really
Woolen's
like
taller.
Woolen also 6'4", but 209.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean Brents doesn't have nearly the speed that Woolen does.
Right.
But yeah, I mean I think Brents can be good. It's just yeah, he's not a press corner because of that size. He's not a guy that can really put it. He can put a body on you, but he can be sticky in coverage and he can stay with you throughout. And he's gonna make a play on the ball if it's in the air. That's for sure. And then at 50 is Israel Abanikanda. Big fan of Abanikanda. I think he's really just missing that breakaway speed. And besides that, he's a really great running back, and I think he's also going to be, as I said before, a lot of the running backs in this class are going to make an impact on day one when they start to get snaps.
So now, are there any like top consensus first round picks that miss out on your top 50?
Well, Hendon Hooker is a guy that I don't have
You
rated.
think he'll go in the first round?
Definitely, yeah, he's gonna end up in the first round.
Really?
These are all the guys that I have. If you want to just take a quick look
Oh,
at it.
yeah.
Yaya Diaby is a guy that I think can end up being really good. The edge of Louisville. He's just, Wanya Morris also.
Wow, you have Parker Washington in the top 75?
Yeah, I like Parker Washington. I think he could be a great gadget guy.
He's good, but
And yeah.
he's.
And then Riley Moss is a guy that I've heard a lot of NFL teams are seeing him as a safety.
Yeah.
So yeah. John Michael Schmitz is a guy that's considered a first round talent. I don't really see it with him.
Yeah, it's very clear. We'll wrap this up.
Yeah.
You guys will see our reaction right after the draft tomorrow, 24 hours from now. I'm extremely excited. I know you are too.
Yeah, very, very excited.
All right. Well, have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you later.